Okay, so hi, what's your name?
Gabriel Brown.
Okay, so hi, Gabriel. My first question I'm going to ask you is, what do you think of guns in general?
Guns in general, I think that people should have the right to own guns, but certain people, like authority.
Okay, thank you. What do you think of gun violence?
Gun violence, I'm very against it. Like a lot of cities like Chicago, Detroit, have very high gun violence, and I think we should do better to decrease it.
Okay. What gun control laws currently exist?
I know that you have to own a permit, and in California, I think you have to put your gun in like a case when traveling.
Take a guess. How many guns are there in the U.S.?
I'd say probably three times as much as the U.S. population.
Well, that is correct. What could be done to reduce gun violence?
Uh, Done to reduce gun violence, probably have stricter background checks and allow people or don't allow people with disabilities, like mental disabilities, to own a gun, or people with like have been incarcerated.
How often are guns used in self-defense?
I'd say probably too many than it needs to be.
Okay. What percentage of mass murders are white?
I'd say probably about 90%.
Well, that is correct. Who do you believe should only have guns?
People that should only have guns are people, like I said, without mental disabilities or people that haven't been in jail, and of course, people like our authority.
Do you believe people should have guns inside of their house? If yes, why?
I think people should have guns inside their house just for purposes of self-defense and to keep their family safe, just in case in the community they live isn't the best.
Okay, well, that is all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so hi, what's your name?
Viviana.
Okay, so hi, Viviana. What do you think of guns in general?
I think guns in general have like a negative connotation, but I know some guns can be used for good.
What do you think of gun violence?
Gun violence, I hate violence in general, so like when you throw a gun in there, it makes everything worse. Like lives are literally at stake.
What gun control laws currently exist?
Well, I'm aware you have to have a permit to own certain guns, but other than that, I feel like gun laws are really like loose.
Take a guess. How many guns are there in the US?
Too many.
What could be done to reduce gun violence?
I mean, I feel like people that own guns should go through like background checks a lot more often than they are, because I feel like there's too many just like handed out. Like I'm pretty sure like if I were to go buy a gun, they wouldn't really question me. But I just think they should have background checks and what they're gonna be using the guns for.
How often are guns used in self-defense?
In self-defense, like I said before, too many times. I don't think self-defense should come to a point where you have to use a gun, but I know in certain situations it's necessary.
What percentage of mass murders are white?
If I had to guess, about like 80%.
Recent studies reveal that most school shooters are white males, with 97% being male and 79% being white. Over the last 2 decades, 90% of high schools or elementary school shootings were the result of white.
It's crazy.
What do you believe should only have guns?
Who?
Yeah.
I mean, authorities, obviously. And I feel like in certain states, I believe like some school administrators should even have guns because of so many school shootings. So like as an act of self-defense, if it has to progress to that point, then maybe schools should also be allowed to have guns on campus. But not like students, just as administration.
Do you believe people should have guns inside of their house? If yes, why?
Like I keep saying, like certain people should, like as long as they have like their background checks. Like yeah, it's self-defense, but I don't believe like everyone should own a gun, because there's been cases where like they don't have the guns properly stored, so like the kids have access to them and then they bring them to school, or like they end up shooting their moms. So I feel like as long as they have like certain rules to be kept in the house, like they could be allowed to, but other than that, I don't think so.
Okay, well, that is all. Thank you, Vivs, for
Thank you.
thank you for everything. Okay, have a nice day.
You too.
Okay, hi. What's your name?
Kiana Green.
Okay, hi, Kiana. My first question I'm going to ask you is, what do you think of guns in general?
I have a negative outlook. I used to have a good positive look based because it's used to protect and it's supposed to help us, but nowadays with all the violence that's happening and shootings and massacres, I have more of a negative outlook on it.
Okay. What do you think of gun violence?
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Gun violence, it seems that nowadays it's getting worse, and it should be stopped. So they need to change the gun laws or something because it's getting out of hand.
Okay. What gun control laws currently exist?
That I know of, I know that you have to have a license to have a gun, and that you have to be a certain age. And I think it's a little different once it comes to like hunting laws. But yeah, that's all I know.
Okay, thank you. Take a guess. How many guns are there in the U.S.?
Like a few million.
Well, currently there's 310 million guns in the country. Okay. What could be done to reduce gun violence?
They need to upgrade the gun control laws because what they've done so far isn't changing anything. There's still people illegally getting guns. There's still people shooting, massacres happening. They need to just step it up.
How often are guns used in self-defense?
Probably 50% of the time. Most of the time, it's free will and people know what they're doing.
What percentage of mass murders are white?
80%. Just kidding.
Well, recent studies reveal that most school shooters are white males, with 97% being male and 79% being white. Over the last 3 decades, 90% of high schools or elementary schools shooting were the result of white.
Damn.
Who do you believe should only have guns?
I feel like only people in the enforcement should have guns because they're protecting our country. So why should we be having guns against each other when we could be using other weapons?
Do you believe people should have guns inside of their house? If yes, why?
I'm kind of in between. I feel like no, people shouldn't have guns. They should have like maybe a knife, a machete, a sword, or something. But in some cases, yes, guns may be possible because people get robbed or broken in, and some people do enter other people's houses with guns. And if you don't have a gun, then you're just helpless. So in cases like that, then yes.
Okay, well that is all. Thank you, Kiana.
You're welcome. Thank you, Bernice, for having me.